past 6 fucking weeks have sucked a lot of dick. Let's be honest here. Talking with a good friend of mine about this recently, right? Like each of these candles are 1 week. This has sucked dick. This has sucked a lot of dick. A lot of dick. Okay? So we're finally getting a fucking turnaround here. And people really, I don't think anyone realizes how much this cascades throughout your own life. Like when the stock is down, when the markets are down, whatever you pay attention to, it ripples and cascades throughout every other part of your life.
Multiple questions. Bottom in on Amy? Why did you say you want to see 10% today? Is it an algo you're tracking? Lastly, where you been, homeboy?
I've been fucking taking care of myself. 10% because everything else is up about 7%. So I want to see some outlier activity. So anyhow, yeah, I really wanted to get that point across because I don't know, like I really feel like whatever you're surrounding yourself in with your attention, if those things are out of your control and you still allow them to dictate how you feel, that's a really unfair way to live life. That's been extremely frustrating for me because I know how to separate emotionally from this, but a lot of people aren't even aware of how much a stock can affect their life. So when I'm watching things just tank, like I can handle it. But when you have thousands of people who are looking to you for answers or for advice or just questions, you'll typically find that there is some frustration on both sides, and there's nothing you can do about it. I know that I can handle whatever the chart brings to me, but when you have tons of people who have inertia-based thinking, where if momentum from one particular idea gets traction, then you'll see the rest of the group take that thought process on. If that group, knowingly or unknowingly, isn't able to parse the fact that one thing or two things, whatever it is, being a stock or stocks, are completely out of their control. There's literally nothing you can do to move either of these charts. And yet your happiness or a large part of your sentiment for the day is comprised within these two uncontrollable things. So then you add in things like public discussion forums, and before you know it, it's really easy for people to get frustrated for reasons beyond just the two things they're frustrated about. Hey, what if they cover AMC slowly? Will we still squeeze? 99% sure, yeah, it would. There's still way too much short interest even for the data that the industry considers to be valid. Things like Vortex's reports and whatnot, FINRA reports, all of that short interest comes out to about 20 million shares short. There's still a fuck ton of shares that you got to cover for, and there's no way you can exit that without causing a ton of upward pressure. What do you think about the transparency vote? I'm glad that it went through. The one person that voted no will forever be in the bad book of my life. I will not forget that. I love blowjobs and all, but I need the fuck, and all Amy will do is wait, what? Is go down on me for months. Pretty sure she's ready to fuck soon. Yeah, I agree with that. Astro, how long till we start running? All this hype of the new SEC ruling, transparency has us out here tapping our feet. I don't know. We're very close. Something people haven't been talking about either is that all of the debt that was accrued from last year, from the origin squeeze, when they snuck their way out of that, whatever vehicles of debt that they used, we know that at least Melvin has such a thing. Typically, you'll see at least 1 year maturity intervals on those vehicles of debt. So to see something happen 1 year later with a week or two for margin of error wouldn't surprise me. Astro, do you see a time frame for some possible squeeze action? February. And we've definitely hit a bottom. So basically, as soon as this shows a confirmation and reversal, you're going to see a lot of upward price action from just vanilla shorts covering. That's not to mention anything else that's been used to wrap up and hide short interest.
There it is, 10% on Jimmy.
Biden stalking and stand by for Jimmy.
Let's go.
Oh, let's go.
Oh yeah, Astro baby.
Maybe
Happy cumpleaños, daddy, yes, daddy, yes, daddy.
Fuck you, Dad. Where's my child support?
What'd you do with Goose?
Yeah, fuck you, Astro. Just kidding.
What about Goose?
Yes!
Oh, fuck.
Go.
Hitchies are fucking
FBI, open up. Pump, come, pump, come, pump, come.
Dude, today's a fucking good week, dude. Good day. Good Monday, at least. Fucking nice. Dude, if I can get just tall enough so my sack touches Kenny G's forehead, dude, I'll be happy.
So basically, all these are doing is it's tracking the efficiency of volume, and it's treating the candles like distance traversed. So I'm trying to come up with, I'm thinking of the candles as a total distance moved, just like that of a vehicle with miles per gallon. This is your MPG down here, and each time frame is represented as a different color. And so when you see anything down here go up, that means that the higher time frames are gaining more efficiency. It's a way to see how market makers are trying to move volume around as well as inventory. So if they're trying to push it up, they'll increase the efficiency. And then ultimately what I'm trying to do is develop a way to map each of these out as torque profiles, almost like that of different gears to a transmission. And if I see somebody downshift, then I can tell that they're about to try to go really fast, which means that they're going to try to cover a lot of distance a lot faster. And then ultimately, if you can figure out each piece of distance, you could theoretically create a roadmap. Because if I can see that this represented 1.5 miles of distance, it cut here, and then they increased their efficiency, that means they upshifted. So probably going to go slower on the lower time frame. So call this another mile of efficiency. If I know that they took a path like this, think like a Fourier transformation, then I can start to piece together a map of where they could be relative to each other. And I want to put all these different stocks together and see where everybody is at. Hey, Professor, if you fall into a sex coma in the metaverse, does that mean you can't pump and come here in real life? No, it's just a glitch. It'll be all right. Turn it off and turn it back on. Astro, can we get an explanation on a RSI?
suck my dick, retard.
Here's the deal. Yeah, no, I know. There's like 8 different videos in the title where it says like AMC is done or it's happening. Means nothing with these two stocks. Not entirely true. It's just that like I'm afraid that I started this whole entire fucking bandwagon where TA doesn't matter, because that was a part of my aggressive uprising here on the tube. You can't use metrics or any form of instrument for analyzing in terms of organic trading sentiment. You can't use that with these. That's just how it is. I miss the days of backing on Dave's daily trades. That was a good time. I had started to feel bad because I was pretty zealous about it, but we made up. So like I hate fucking bragging about doing a good thing, if that makes sense. Like I've always felt that if you have to brag about things that you do that are good, that it's not really authentic, but I know that's inherently not true, but that's how I feel whenever I do it. But I am proud of how that resolved. Like, he took it to the chin. I apologize for being such a brazen asshole about it. We were going to do a video together, but I think he got busy. But after that, it was like, we follow each other on Twitter now, and we still will hit each other up every so often. And it's good. And I think he learned a big lesson in life. And that was that. What do you think of SEC transparency regs? We'll see what happens. The problem with anything of official regulation is that anyone who would be caught as culpable with them being implemented, they've already heard about them and they've already moved the skeletons. That's the one problem. Sweet buds now. Authentic, yeah. Shit happens, dude. Like, I get it. Like, we all do dumb shit in life, and as long as you come clean and you make things right and move forward and don't do it again, like, you learned a lesson. That's a part of life. Some people think crucifying someone for it is the way to go, and that's not. No. Feels like we're fighting an unwinnable war. It just takes time, man. Like, these things, it doesn't happen overnight until it does. And all that time in between now and that point of happening overnight will feel like a fucking eternity. But how often do you get opportunities like this? Matt Kors was the kid that insisted Digimon was better than Pokemon in middle school. Just saying. Just jumped in and heard you on Lou. Do you think he's FUD, and what's your thoughts on his price? I don't know if he's FUD or not. I don't like how open-ended he is on things. Because it turns into like it's a method of being conniving. If you're just so open-ended about everything, and then you don't decide what the explicit meaning of it was until after the fact. It's like verbal hedging. Like, he'll say things that are so vague and almost monolithic, and then after the thing that he was speculating on does something, then he'll decide it was going this way or that way with what he was saying. And I don't like that. I have seen and known plenty of people that do that, and they eventually fuck up so catastrophically that everyone turns around and is like, oh, that's what they were doing. He's funny. He's funny. I'll give him that. But it's smoke and mirrors when you are so ambiguous. Lou sounds a lot like my wife. And that's the problem, is like, I see people memeing him for trust me, bro. There are some sources in this world that you have to conceal the identity of. But then some asshats come along and make shit up and provide the same reason of just trust me, bro. I can't say who it is, bro, or blah, 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 blah. And those who are using anonymity as a legitimate reason to not disclose identity become crucified because some other asshat was exploiting that means of justification. Oh, shit. If they were going to do the day-long halts, why didn't they just do that with GMA a year ago? They tried to. I imagine they would have done that when they pulled the buy button, had there been regulation in place to do so. I've resorted to earphones to watch Astro. Yeah, good idea. Yo, TMI's baby mama, what up? Sir, do you like BBIG? I have no clue on their fundamentals, but it looks technically very interesting. I think Lou's connected on both sides, on the street and in the SEC, but like you said, he uses the trust me part too much. Yeah, and if he was, like, you wouldn't be so visually identifiable. I'm going to answer this and then go take a shit. Is 5K per share too much to ask? I think not, but then again, I'm not an expert. There are two constraints. There are two constraints to how you come up with your boundary conditions on price. If the law of supply and demand is upheld and respected, as in the case that there are more shares in existence than that of which should exist, and there is an extreme liquidity crunch on the demand side, as in people need to buy back. If that checks out, and if the total market cap of the company in question does not exceed, full pun intended, astronomical proportions that would crash every means of civilized currency and circulation. Meaning, if the market cap of AMC exceeds $1 quadrillion, or GameStop, whatever it is, there is some number to that at which every currency in circulation would cease to function because of the extreme either deflation or inflation, depending on how you want to interpret this case. If both of these are respected, as in the laws of supply and demand are not fucked with, like the buy button being removed, and the market cap of these companies does not exceed some value that would destabilize currency as we know it, then that is how you come up with your price. That sounded like a Lou explanation. What's your price, bro? No, that did not. Fuck off. No. I'm giving you the logic as to how you come up with the price. So you take the market cap in question, divide it by the total shares outstanding. That gives you a share price. And if the buy button and or sell button are not removed, those are your constraints. That's how you determine what price is realistic. If you take the total shares outstanding of AMC and come up with a number per share, $1,000 per share, that would give you a market cap of $500 billion, I think is what it comes out to. That is okay. That is theoretically possible. The market cap of Apple is nearly $3 trillion. That's essentially what Lou said. Please send me a clip of it. I'm sure he has 30 other ways of coming up with it, and then he lets you cherry pick the one that sounds most logically coherent. Oh yeah, there it is. Unholy Confessions. Fuck. Your algo predictor thing is pretty accurate. Yeah. It's doing pretty well. Jimbo's on a different time series right now, but it's holding pretty close. Anytime you see a deviation, like right here, yeah, it's like this right here, where it was the inverse of it. That just means that it's building on a higher time frame. I admire your talent, buddy. I wanted to learn to play guitar my whole. You should. It's never too late. It's never too late. I think my phone knew that you were taking out the Gibson and gave me a little vibration. Salute to that. Let's see if it calls the Rippy here. Everything's curling up. Is there any way to use this algo? Is it offered anywhere? I made it. It's not public yet. Should do a video going into a guitar shop and playing the Forbidden Riff. I'm actually seeing Dovidas. He's playing like 10 minutes up the road from me. Can you do any funkadelic maggot bringing for me? I'm obsessed with the soloing in that song. I've actually never heard it. Hey Astro, I don't care about this stock, but I'm desperately asking you for help to look into the small memes. Small meme stocks seem to have these weird 10 to 30% days randomly, then die. Yeah. I think it all goes back to the basket short theory. Sony go. Yeah. They just bought out Bungie. Yeah, Paint, I agree with you. It's something I've been digging into. I have different not topics, but different pieces of this giant investigative thing going on. Can we buy the Pine script from you? Nah, not for sale. Can you disclose some of the variables you use? You have to think of it as like fuel efficiency in an engine. And I'm treating the price movements as total distance traversed. So volume is your fuel efficiency, and then the total distance you travel is constrained by that efficiency. That's all I can really say. And then down here, think of this as like which gear you're in. If I see these lower time frames pop up, that means that they're downshifting. And if you're downshifting, that means you're either slowing down or you're giving up efficiency to move faster. Like right now you can see, forget what so the 15 minute, the 45 minute, and the 90 minute are starting to go up, and even the 5 hour, so 300 minutes, are starting to go up. This is very interesting. See this go up the way it is big. Why? That means that the amount of movement that you would see over the span of 5 hours, that amount of fuel required is losing efficiency. Or it's gaining efficiency. It depends on where the price is trying to be moved to. Basically, I guess you could think of it as, instead of different gears, you have different fuselages for each movement type. The higher the time frame, the more aggressive the move. That's the best way to put it. So if you see these higher time frames starting to increase their revs, that means that they're being adjusted for some particular use. And in the case of it going up, that tells me that they're downshifting to get to that gear to move it faster. Can you apply your script across the market, or is it just AMC and GameStop specific? No, I can use it anywhere. As long as I have volume, that's all I really need. High time frame means fuel isn't as efficient, so what way is that moving volume? That means that they're giving up. How do I put this? The way I think of it is, remember the analogy of with the fractal concept that the movements are forever set in stone, like a drawing, but the amount of volume that you get is based on how much ink you have in the pen. That's basically what this does, but makes it mathematic. As far as your question goes, of high time frames means fuel isn't as efficient, it's all relative. Since we're on the 1 minute chart, to see fuel being pulled from the 5 hour fuselage means that they're using something that should have more value to it, right? That being volume, to move the chart. But if they can move the chart with less volume, that means that they're giving up efficiency. It all depends on which way they're trying to move it. If they're giving up efficiency and it going up, then that means that they're trying to pull it down, so to speak. The distribution follows the same time frame at different rates. Exactly. Exactly. It's taking advantage of ripples, basically. So if the yield curve has really any curve, this can be applied to anything that's either is a fixed income instrument or anything that is synthesized as a fixed income instrument. But if you have a sudden jump or drop, that will create a ripple throughout the spot prices, and then you can basically intercept those as they're traversing throughout the rest of whatever your medium is. Yeah, pretty much. I'm going to dig into that. That's basically what I've been trying to make as an indicator. Accurate or not, there's something satisfying about watching the price in the yeah. It's fucking wild, man. I've basically just been staring at these charts for the past almost over a year now. And I always knew that there was something going on because everything looked the same, but I had no idea how to discern it. Like, I would go to my friends in real life and be like, I know this is repeating, but I don't know how. And I need someone that doesn't have the bias that I do of knowing how a price chart looks and works. So if you can tell me if I'm onto something based on your own ignorance, then that serves as a confirmation to me. Because when I'm looking at the price chart, you know, I'm thinking about what it means. Like, oh, the price is doing this, or this is a head and shoulders, or whatever. But when you don't have that bias, then you can analyze it for just what it looks like. And so one of my good friends named Donnie was helping me out with it. And he's like, yeah, no, it's definitely repeating. And this was in like early February of last year. So it's been one hell of a ride. Models will never be 100% accurate. That's the fun of the computer science. It's fluid and yes, exactly. What do you think about extreme gains analysis? I think it's good. A lot of what he's been analyzing, I've been doing for the past almost 9 months, almost 12 months actually, technically. So I think he does a good job. It's just I wish he would have watched my content more, just to kind of get the footnotes of what is being analyzed. I feel like it would save him some time. Basically, what I've been trying to do is I see the way these are traded as what is supposed to be a perfect system, right? Where it's not that friction doesn't exist, but there is a way to quantify it. And I'm trying to find where artificial intervention, aka naked short selling, comes into play, and where that is stored as a residual value for the notion of friction. And this cumulative measurement of friction is what is released when you have rippies. That's basically what I'm trying to analyze for. The whole fractal idea is the result of the same way that when you sit on a chair, your body weight is distributed across 4 legs. The problem with the fractal theory is that it's too open-ended. It's a backward-facing solution. This is a front-facing solution. And then when I can join the two together, then I think we could have a perfect image of this. Someone just pointed out in the chat that the utilization went up on AMC. And that's a great point, because we've talked about this before. We're gonna, Dana, if you can link this video. It's why did the utilization go down on AMC? That was from about 3 months ago. Now we're seeing the inverse of it. It looks like someone's pulling shares off of the security lending market to have lent out, because if you look at the exchange reported short interest, right, it's been relatively flat relative to what's going on here. The utilization shot up, and then our estimated short interest is flat relative to that period of shooting up. So the formula to this is relatively simple. We've talked about it a bit before. Your utilization is just a percentage, right? And a percentage, as far as linguistically speaking, per meaning iterative, and then cent being 100. So per 100, right? It's a ratio. So if the utilization goes up, but your total sample size considered short is static, that means that someone is pulling away from the total shares shortable. So if your total SI comes out to 100 shares, but the total short or total available is 200, that would mean that you have 50% utilization, right? But now we have, I don't know, call it 100, and someone just pulled 50. Now it comes out to 66%. That's just napkin math, but that's what's going on here. I think people are pulling shares from being shortable or from being borrowable, and I think that's probably what's going on with GameStop as well, and that's why its cost to borrow is going up. Yeah, same thing that happened in June. Oh, GameStop at 86% utilization. That's pretty cool. And then if we look at so their estimated short interest is also relatively flat, relative, again, to what is actually outstanding. So that's pretty neat. I have not a single fractal come to fruition. I mean, it did for me back in May. I made 150 grand off of calls because of it, so I don't know what to tell you, bud. Maybe go to an eye doctor. Get the fuck out of my chat in the meantime. Yeah, a little late to correct yourself. If you're gonna talk shit in a chat room that has a live video feed of it, gotta be faster than that. Sorry, man. That's how the internet works. See ya! Get the fuck out of my chat, idiot! Come on, bitch!
We've engaged the autism microphone.
Come on, bitch! Come on, bitch!
This motherfucker hasn't been in here in goddamn forever.
Yeah, I know. Suck my dick. It's time for Dragon Force, baby.
Suck my nuts, you bitch.
Suck my dick, bitch. Who the fuck do you think you are?
I don't know. The man who went and got cigarettes and never came back, Daddy. What?
Yeah, where's our child support, Pop?
Waiting on my check from YouTube.
Astro!
Shut up, Michael!
You hear that?
Lucius, we need it now!
I know. You hear that, motherfucker? That's me open up a can of whoop-ass Monster Energy drink. So fuck up any of the bitches out there who paper-ham this shit. Because I'm Morgan fucking Freeman, and you know what? I'm gonna break out just like Andy did. We're all gonna break out of this fuckery.
Oh, can I get a hell yeah?
Yeah, can I get a hell yeah out there? Whether on the darkest day of golf or the brightest day of sunny fucking Florida, we're gonna get through all this. This is the week. This is our time to buckle in, clean out the shit stains out of your spacesuits because we know you've all been wearing them. Get some deodorant on because we know, Lord, for some of us, it's been some time. Get ready for takeoff because it's coming. And if you're on the ship with Morgan Freeman, simply put, you're not fucking cool. How about that? Do you want to be left out of going to the fucking moon with me, Morgan fucking Freeman? I didn't think so. I got out of jail and I went and built boats with Andy. Do you want to be a loser and stay in jail? No, I don't think so. I'm done with this stock prison of a market. I want to be free. I want a free market. And that's why I'm holding, and that's why I'm here. This has been your Monday Moment with Morgan.